In case if Stampy does see this, I left a message for him at the end of the video, as well as my prediction on how I think Lovely World might end. Hello everybody, this is Spiralex, and welcome to another tutorial inside of my art room. In this video, I'll be showing you how I made this Minecraft head of Stampy Cat. You can use this to make any mob or player skin you want, and if you're interested on how I made this rose and cake, I'll leave a link in the description to those tutorials. Let's get right into it without any unexpected interruptions or anything like that. I'm going to go eat this cake now. Hey, dog! My dog! Come back! Here's everything you will need for making the head. 5mm EVA foam, or you could also use cardboard. Mesh fabric. It'd be best to get it in white so it's easier to paint. Paint of various colors. Paintbrush. Paper. Something to draw with. Scissors or an X-Acto knife. Be careful, they are sharp. Contact cement or hot glue, either works fine, but if you use cardboard, use hot glue. And a Dremel. This is optional, you don't need it. You will also need project foam. Going to start by using the ruler to cut out the squares for the head. The size will depend on how big or small you want yours to be. I measured mine to my head before this so I knew how big to make it. After I had the square drawn, I cut it out and then traced that square to make 4 more, so there's 5 in total. Next, I glued one of the ends to the flat end of another side, and continued that for the 4 pieces till it was almost a full cube. I trimmed the edges and then glued on the top piece. And trimmed the excess. This part is optional, but I used a Dremel to smooth out the sides. You could also use sandpaper, but it would take longer. Using a piece of paper and a ruler, I figured out how big to make the pixels. It's 8 by 8 for anyone wondering. It took a few tries to get it right, but when I was happy with it, I drew a grid onto the front. Then I cut out where the eyes will be. and use those pieces for some of the 3D parts on the skin. The 3D part is optional, as you could just paint it on though. Next, I drew out the 3D parts onto foam and cut them out. Then after I had it all cut out, I glued them on with hot glue. Once the base of the head was made, I cut out pieces of project foam into squares to line the inside of the head so it will stay on better. Don't put any foam onto the side where the eyes are cut out yet, since it will make it easier when gluing the mesh in. I ended up taking out the piece I glued in. Next, take the mesh and fold it over about 6 to 8 times depending on how solid you want the colors to be. Then cut it into squares that are a bit bigger than the eye hole. I held the mesh under the eye and used a marker to mark the squares. Use hot glue and glue the edges of the squares together so it's easy to paint. Use the end of a marker or something to smooth it out. Be careful because hot glue is very hot. I mixed up the colors as close as I could and painted it, but you'll want to mix your paint with a bit of water so the paint doesn't block out the mesh when you put it on. It just makes the paint thinner. Then glue the mesh in. After that, you can start to paint the head, or you might want to put the eyes in after you paint the head so you don't get any paint on them. I didn't record the whole painting process since it's the same all around. I wasn't trying to get it pixel perfect Stampy skin, so it's not 100% accurate. I also put some white onto the eyes to make them shine a bit. I used masking tape to get the mouth part a bit smoother. And I put some black paint on the rim of the eyes. I hope this was somewhat informative on how to make a Minecraft head. I hope you enjoyed it either way though. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye! Now that the tutorial is done, here's my prediction for the ending of Lovely World, and a message to Stampy. I think it will end with more of the old helpers returning, like maybe Squid, Squaishy, or amylee. They'll probably go through the world and look at old buildings, a trip down memory lane. And I think by the end, Stampy will become friends with Hit the Target and Viva Dash again, putting the world at peace and everyone will live happily. And now, in case Stampy does see this, here's my message to him. You and your videos were my entire childhood. I was 6 years old when I found my first Stampy video, which is when you built crystal waters in your lovely world. And now I'm almost an adult. I kept watching you for hours every day, and it helped me keep my mind off things. You are my inspiration for wanting to be a YouTuber so that I can make people happy the way you made me happy, even if it's just one person that makes it worth it. Your stories with Hit the Target and other lovely helpers was always so cool to me, and probably one of the reasons I love coming up with my own stories now. Your shenanigans with Squiddy are some of my favorite videos I've ever watched. I've wanted to make this costume for many years, so when I saw you were going to be ending Lovely World, I knew I had to make it now. I can't say everything I would like to, or else this video would be at least an hour long, but I guess the main thing I want to say is thank you. Thank you for being my biggest inspiration and a lot of my happiness when I was little. It's sad to see Lovely World end, but I know that no matter what you do, I and many others will support you, and will get much enjoyment from whatever it is you choose to do. So once again, thank you for everything, Mr. Stampy Cat. Much love from Spirelex.
I see creepers green, red roses too. This is the place that I've been for you. And I think to myself, what a lovely world.